So good prompts provide good context. Good context will often allow the model to be more precise and will prevent hallucinations, as you'll see soon. Good prompts are also concise. It takes a lot of power to get through and produce a completion for a long prompt. It's quite remarkable. A few years back, we didn't think we were even close to what these models are capable of today. So if you're concise, you're in essence making the job of this model easier. So it's important to provide plenty of context, but not too much context. In a sense, a really long prompt can almost tire your model. And also you're taking up a lot of the window, the token window that this model can handle. Next, models like specificity when it comes to their prompt. So know what it is you're asking for. If you're asking for something specific, you're more likely to get what you need. Let's take a look at some examples. So don't be vague. So suppose we said, write an email saying the shipment is delayed. This can mean so many things, and we've sort of left ChatGPT out there to fend for itself. So in this situation, I gave this prompt to ChatGPT and even GPT-4, and really it came up with a few things that are unintended. To make amends, we are offering you a discount, coupon, or voucher. The model didn't have much to work with here, so it came up with things that are unrelated. And this is not helpful in a sense, because a lot of times you can miss these things. So a vague prompt will often make the model come up with strange things to fill in the blanks, so to speak. Next, avoid irrelevant information. So here I'm using up a lot of my window, a lot of my context window, a lot of my tokens on things that don't relate. So our company has 2,000 employees. It was established in 1777. We delivered 1,200 chips to yes, and then eventually I wrote something about the bring your pet to work day. And this is the problem that a lot of times when you give a lot of this context, you'll get a lot of irrelevance, and it will deteriorate or take away from the quality of the output. Next, don't be asking for things that are vague. For example, apologize to our customers here in this example is sort of not specific as to what you want the model to produce. So here I'm giving pretty decent context. I'm seeing somebody say that I'm still not clear. Is that the case? Can anybody tell me how the audio is doing? I'm sort of awaiting comments regarding crystal clear. Okay, good. So I'll continue. Okay. Okay, good. So here I have a prompt that gives good enough context, but I say apologize to our customers, and that's not very specific. How do you want to apologize to our customers? And this is what you probably would benefit from. So here we have decent context. We say we supply GPUs for on-premise servers. A shipment of Tesla A100 GPUs, which is a very capable GPU at the time of this recording, is 2 weeks delayed. Write a semi-formal email informing our clients of this. And as you'll see, you get something that is much more relevant, a lot less hallucinations here, a lot more precise. You have this semi-formal language telling our customers about the apologies, no promising of discounts, no promising of discussing coupons or things like that. So once again, we have the context, and we have just enough context, and we have the very specific output we wish to receive. Now, another good thing you can take advantage of when it comes to ChatGPT Plus is web browsing. And this is really neat. This is a relatively new-ish feature in GPT Plus, in ChatGPT Plus. It was there and then it went away for a little while and now it's back. And it's a very powerful way of allowing the system to browse the web using Bing. Now, a lot of times a good way to do this is to give this one prompt to prime the system. So here I say, who is Ronnie Sheer? And it tells me Ronnie Sheer appears to be a professional with a background in software development and instruction. And it's giving me a bunch of things about my background. And then I can say, write a country song about Ronnie Sheer. And here you have this wonderful country song about me saying, in a world full of code, amid a digital cheer, and great fun. So I have one prompt that asks for the relevant information and another prompt that asks for a format. And this is extremely useful because you know that the way the context is given to the system is optimized if you query that way. Now let's talk about data privacy. And this is sort of an issue that many workplaces were struggling with initially. Some companies even ended up having intellectual property used for training data. And the one thing you want to keep in mind is never paste passwords, tokens, or secrets into your prompts with ChatGPT. It's not safe and there's no good reason to do it. Keep extremely sensitive data and intellectual property out of prompts until we know more about data privacy. I know that there is ChatGPT Enterprise now, and there are perhaps better data controls, but always keep that in mind. And always check in with the data privacy policy of OpenAI. And finally, consider data controls. Now, data controls should be considered the same way that private browsing should. They provide some privacy, but not 100% privacy. If I want to turn on privacy or data controls, I will go to Settings. I will go to Data Controls, and then I will toggle off chat history and training. Now, this is sort of a trade-off because you will not be able to access previous conversations with ChatGPT. You're also not going to be able to leverage many features, specifically newer features like web browsing. Now let's talk about custom instructions, and these have become really a favorite of mine. Custom instructions allow your prompts to have this reusable structure. So if you know that each one of your prompts should have something baked into it, that's when custom instructions can really help you reduce repetitions. The one thing to keep in mind is at the time of this recording, OpenAI does use custom instructions for model training. So what does that mean? It means we should avoid putting anything sensitive in custom instructions. We should consider that this may go into the training data at OpenAI. What's an example of using custom instructions? And you can do that by turning on custom instructions. Here, I took my previous prompt and I say, we supply GPUs for on-premise servers, and we write a semi-formal emails. And I picked up just now that I made a grammar mistake. I apologize. We write semi-formal emails. Great. And at the bottom, you want to enable this for new chats and save. And now this very small minimal prompt will give me what I need. So let our customers know that a shipment of 3 A100 GPUs is 2 weeks delayed. And just having that now gives me a great output. So having the custom instructions avoids allows me not to repeat myself, not to provide the context for each conversation and for each prompt. And I've found this extremely, extremely helpful in keeping my workflow more concise when it comes to ChatGPT. So that is actually it for today. This session is a bit shorter than expected. And I wanted to let you know that there are these free AI courses, and the links are in the comments. And I am open for a few questions now, since we have a few minutes on our side. So feel free to write in the comments. So I see, what is the value of using ticks? I'm not sure I understand the question. Can you be a little bit more precise as to what is meant by ticks? Okay, so great question. So the first question that I sort of see here, and hopefully I will have more clarity on ticks. Where do you find the web extension? The web extension is not an extension. You can activate it under beta features. So in that screen that we looked at before, right here, you'll see beta features right above data controls, and you can activate, if you have ChatGPT Plus, you can activate web browser. Okay, so I see, do you always need to give an example to get proper output? That's a great question. Providing an example is a form of one-shot learning. With ChatGPT, that's not always necessary. Sometimes actually giving a concise prompt works better than giving an example. So it really varies from one case to another. There's a lot to be said for giving an example, because if I give an example, then ChatGPT can look at that example and give me what I want. But I'm also using up a few of my tokens, my words, and making my output slightly longer. Okay, so what are the best tools when you use ChatGPT with Python and JavaScript? That's a great question. I'm actually a big fan of Copilot X. And if you use Copilot X these days, there is a sort of ChatGPT type interface that allows you to kind of look at files in VS Code and hopefully soon other code editors. Those are good tools. Other than that, I would say provide good context and you should be okay. Specifically, when using JavaScript, it's important to tell it which version of a library you're using, to be very, very precise. And to keep in mind that it does have a cutoff to its training. So often you need to give it some context to the API you're using. The prompts and responses. Okay, so can I share the prompts and responses for future reference? I'll try to put them in the event comments if I have access later on. And I see, how do you measure the effectiveness of prompts? That's a great, great question. There are tools in the professional realm that we use to measure the accuracy, but I think at the end of the day is, are you satisfied with the output? And to an extent, we always want to make sure that we are carefully examining the output of ChatGPT or any other generative AI tool because of hallucinations, because it may be just wrong. Does Bing use GPT-4? I believe so. I'm not 100% sure. I know GPT-4 uses Bing. That I can't tell you. So yeah, that is my understanding. So what are the plugins I suggest for capturing your existing chats? At the moment, I've been behind the building of some systems, but I can't suggest specific plugins yet. I'm a big fan of providing your own context to ChatGPT. I believe in sort of keeping a minimal toolbox when it comes to using these systems. Already, when I'm sharing chats with ChatGPT, I feel like I'm using a pretty broad toolbox. Okay, so with that, I think we are good to go. And I really wanted to thank you guys for taking this time to join me today. I appreciate it a great deal. I also wanted to thank everyone who have sent their good thoughts in this difficult time in this region. And thank you for bearing with a little technical difficulty in the beginning. I'll make sure to look into this to make sure that we do a little bit better next time. Next week, we have another session planned, which is an artificial intelligence for everyone session. I promise there'll be stuff for people, beginner level and advanced level alike. So feel free to join us, and I'll see you there. Thank you so much.